Trump announced the start of the Peace Council's work.
Formation of what is known as the Board of Peace.
Putin is in a difficult situation.
He does not want to become Putin. Does not want to become Nicholas II again, the last Tsar of Russia.
Putin said how much Greenland should cost.
Somewhere between $250 million.
My name is Albina Pidhirnyak, more news coming up. At the ceremony to sign the agreement on creating the Peace Council, Trump said he is making progress in resolving the Russia-Ukraine war.
And foreign heads of state, and now we have one of the most important meetings of all, the official formation of what is known as the Board of Peace. We've settled 8 wars, and I believe another one's coming pretty soon. You know what that is? The one that I thought was going to be an easy one has turned out to be probably the most difficult. Last month, 29,000 people died, mostly soldiers, in Ukraine, Russia. Think of that, 29,000, 27,000 in the month before, 26,000 in the month before that. It's terrible. But we have meetings and we think we're making a lot of progress.
Kit Kellogg said that if Ukraine gets through this winter, the advantage will be on our side. Putin will not win this war. He understands how difficult his situation is and is looking for a way out.
Because I understand it's a harsh winter. I understand what's happening in Kyiv. I understand the temperatures. But I really do believe if Ukraine gets through this winter, January, February, and you get into March and April, the advantage accrues to you. I think right now he does not want to become Putin. Does not want to become Nicholas II again, the last Tsar of Russia. And he's sacrificed to Russia so much, and he's had so much pain, that I think he's trying to figure a good way to get out of this thing, because he knows he's not going to end up winning this war.
Putin continues to present himself as a peacemaker, and Trump helped him with this. Putin thanked Trump for inviting him to the Peace Council. Lukashenko has already signed documents to join the Peace Council, so Belarus has also been invited.
Peace Council, we have indeed received a personal appeal from the President of the United States of America and America Donald Trump with an invitation to join the new international structure that is being created on his initiative, the Peace Council. In this regard, I would like to begin by thanking the President of the United States for this proposal. We have always supported and continue to support any efforts aimed at strengthening international stability. We also note the contribution of the current U.S. administration in finding a solution to the Ukrainian crisis. As for our participation in the Peace Council, the Russian Foreign Ministry has been instructed to study the documents that have come to us, to consult with our strategic partners on this matter, and only after that we will be able to respond to the invitation given to us.
Even though Russia rejects diplomatic efforts and keeps expanding its military industry to continue the war, Peskov says they value Trump's efforts to settle the conflict, but in fact it looks very cynical.
We would not like to comment on the stage of the negotiations, especially in the run-up to Witkov's arrival in Moscow and his meeting with Putin. It can be said unequivocally that the Russian president highly appreciates the peacekeeping efforts of President Trump personally and his team, including Special Envoy Witkov. We really appreciate these efforts, we welcome these efforts and their results.
Peskov continues to insist that Russia could send money to the Peace Council using frozen Russian assets.
Do Putin's words that Russia may send $1 billion of its assets frozen in the United States to the Peace Council mean that Moscow no longer sees the possibility of unlocking them? Washington's position on this matter is already known. Or will this issue be discussed in detail today? And is it already clear how this moment will be formalized legally? How it will be formalized legally is still unclear. All this needs to be discussed, then it needs to be unblocked. This, of course, will require certain actions on the part of the United States. This is the first thing. This does not mean that we, let's say, have lost all hope of getting our assets back. In any case, we will continue our struggle and defend our rights. We believe that holding all these assets in all countries, wherever they are held, is illegal, and we do not accept this. We will continue to use all possible tools to ensure that these assets are unblocked. But I repeat once again, as President Putin said yesterday, these billion, through the Peace Council, should go to humanitarian goals for Palestine, for the restoration of Palestine.
Finland's President Alexander Stubb said in Davos that the main goal of the event is to help Ukraine win the war.
I don't think that the argument that Russia does not want to end the war because it believes that it can advance holds. I think the argument that Russia does not want to end this war because it is too expensive for Putin to end. He will not be able to pay the Russian soldiers. So the big dilemma that we right now have is that how can we force Russia to end this war? And there are only two things that we can do. One, continue to provide Ukraine with everything it's possible, and two, put more economic pressure on Russia. And then we will see that Ukraine will have won this war at the end of the day. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Belgium Prime Minister said that Europe unfortunately doesn't have a united position. Some countries do not want to continue sanctions against Russia.
Europe is not a country, it's not a superstate with a supreme leader, it is a confederation. Everybody needs to agree, and we all know a difficult truth. Some European countries are not so pro-Ukrainian. Some might, at some stage, say we do no longer want to prolong sanctions, and then immediately you have to release those assets. Now, if you take assets, confiscate them, spend them, and at a certain moment in time you have to repay them, then you have a big problem.
Wever also mentioned the froze assets that Peskov talked about earlier. Wever said that confiscating Russian money would be an act of war. He added that Europe is supposedly not at war with Russia.
Because, of course, you cannot just take somebody's money. We're not at war with Russia. Europe is not at war with Russia. You cannot simply confiscate money. That is an act of war. You shouldn't underestimate it. It has never happened in history.
Meanwhile, Putin decided to play the great mathematician. He calculated how much Greenland would cost today if Trump bought it for the same price Russia sold Alaska for in 1867.
Regarding Greenland. Well, that doesn't concern us at all. What's happening to Greenland? But we have experience in dealing with such issues with the United States. In the 19th century, I think, in 1867, as we know, Russia sold Alaska to the United States, and the United States bought Alaska from us. And if my memory serves me correctly, the area of Alaska is 1 million, about 1,717,000 square kilometers, well, a little more. And, the United States bought Alaska from us for $7.2 million US. We need to check, of course, but, in my opinion, it is so. At today's prices, taking into account inflation for all these many decades, this figure would be $158 million. And the area of Greenland, it is a little larger, I think, 2,166,000 square kilometers, also with a tail. That is, the difference is about 449, about 1,000 square kilometers. So, if you compare that to the cost of the United States acquiring Alaska, the price for Greenland would be, well, somewhere between $250 million.
Fear is something Russia never forgives. Western leaders need a clear, united position and must keep putting pressure on Russia. Thank you for your support in Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.